Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Al Amin TV. Meet the Friends of All American Muslim First show. In this show, we will be hosting every month a friend of a Muslim community from all over the United States and especially from California. And it gives me a great honor and a pleasure today to have our first guest of the show, which is considered one of the veteran Muslim friends in California. He's one of the community leaders. He's the leader of the largest sheriff department in the United States of America. Please welcome our Sheriff of Los Angeles, Sheriff Leroy Baca. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Kamal. It's nice to be on the show. I'm enjoying being here with you. You
can send us your questions to the show by emailing info@alamintv.com, or you can call us at 818-683-1866. Sheriff Lee Baca, please tell us a little bit about your background. You've been with the Sheriff Department for many, many years. Give us how long you've been with the Sheriff and your history with the Sheriff Department.
Well, thank you very much. I'm glad to be on the program. I've been in the Sheriff's Department for 46 years. I'm in my 47th year. I was elected in 1998 to the position of Sheriff. And since then, the Sheriff's Department has grown from a staff of 1,300 inmates to, the Sheriff's Department has grown from a staff of 13,000 employees to now 17,000 employees, and our budget is now $2.5 billion. We police 4 million people. We also police the transit system and 10 community colleges, and we manage the largest county jail system in the United States.
Great. You know, this is your first term as a sheriff. Last ceremony, when you were sworn in, I was in your ceremony. I would like to show the video of the last ceremony when you were sworn in as a sheriff. So, but before we go to that video, can you tell us a little bit about your relationship with the Muslim community? When did it start and how?
Well, the Muslim American community in Los Angeles County is vibrant. It thrives. It has an awful lot of excellent programs. We have over 40 mosques in the various Southern California communities. And so I've been able to meet and interact and become friends with the Muslim American societies. And they're from all over the world. There's basically in the South Asian community, such as Pakistan and Sri Lanka. And then there's also in the Middle East, and there's Turkey and Azerbaijan, and we have a vibrant society here of Muslim Americans. And I've learned a lot in going to mosques and interacting with Impact, CARE, and some of the very prominent leaders in the Muslim American community, including the Shura Council. So they've done well in helping me become more informed, and the education that I've received from the community leaders is rather substantial.
Great. You know, as I said earlier, I was in your swearing ceremony the last time. Actually, you were sworn by Governor Jerry Brown.
Yes.
And let's watch together the video.
We need a little bit of an oath. We got to have the oath of office because as often as I take it, I can't remember the damn thing. Okay, let me just see this here. Okay, are we ready? Okay, raise your right hand.
Hold on one second. All right, Steve, Mike, you're right. Okay, Charlie, you ready?
Okay. You ready?
Ready.
All right. Repeat after me. I, Leroy Baca.
I, Leroy Baca.
During such times as I hold the office.
During such times as I hold the office.
Of Sheriff of the County of Los Angeles.
As Sheriff of the County of Los Angeles.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of California.
And the Constitution of the State of California.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
That's it.
Thank you, Governor.
Congratulations.
That was very interesting ceremony that was really honor for us as Muslim community members to be in that ceremony. Also your department, can you tell us some statistics about your department? How big, how many employees, how many inmates you oversee, how many cities you... I did read a lot, and I was very, very impressed with the numbers, but I'd like to hear it from you so you can tell our audience.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, the Sheriff's Department has 17,000 employees, a $2.5 billion budget. We police 42 independent cities, and we police a large unincorporated area as well, over 130 communities altogether. And that's the idea behind policing with public trust. We have advisory councils from every community, and particularly an interfaith religious council of all the religions, so that we can have close relationships with the leaders as well as the members of all the religions. The Sheriff's Department is very fortunate. It was formed in 1850, and it's the oldest law enforcement agency in Los Angeles County and one of the oldest law enforcement agencies in California. So all in all, we're very busy. We have record low crime. We reduced the crime rate 14% this past year to a record low that's a 40-year low for the Sheriff's Department. So I'm very proud of the men and women of the Sheriff's Department. They work very hard, and we have all kinds of talent in the Sheriff's Department, including members of each community. And we have Muslim American deputy sheriffs, Asian American, African American, Caucasian, obviously, and Latino American officers, deputies. So we're very, very diverse, and we have core values. We believe that everyone should be able to acquire a college education, so we emphasize that. And we believe that everyone in the Sheriff's Department is a leader.
The Sheriff Department basically service the unincorporated area and cities.
Correct.
Some cities, they have their own police department, but the city that doesn't have police department, the Sheriff Department actually provide that service.
That's correct. When Los Angeles became a county, there were no other police departments. The first police department in the county of Los Angeles was the Los Angeles Police Department, and it became a police department in 1771. Since then, cities incorporate from the unincorporated area, and they form their own police departments. Right now, there are approximately 44 police departments of the 88 cities within the county of Los Angeles. The Sheriff's Department polices the remaining 42.
You know, in reviewing all of the documents that I researching, preparing for this show, I was very impressed with this video as a promo about your department, and I hope our director will be ready to play it. It's only very short, but it gives a very concise information in such a short period of time. Sometimes seeing is different than hearing.
Right.
So I would like to play that video if we can, and if we are ready, let's watch together this promo about the Sheriff Department. Looks like we just got the first call, so let's hear together. Oh, they hang up? Okay. Okay, let's talk about the program that you started, the Muslim Community Affair Unit. This is actually, in every speech I make, every event I do, I always mention that. Let's take this call. Assalamu alaikum. What's your name and where are you calling from? Assalamu alaikum. Are you there? Caller, are you there?
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Ahmad Radwan. I have a question and I welcome to Sheriff Leary Baca if I could please.
Thank you, brother. Where are you calling from, brother?
I'm originally from Mission View, Ahmad Radwan.
Thank you very much. What's your question to the sheriff?
Okay. First of all, I would like to welcome the sheriff to the Islamic community, and I would like to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward him for all his help and support, first of all. My question to him, I would like to ask him, what has inspired you to stand and support Islamic communities and to attend Islamic events despite all the criticism and attacks you've been receiving from other non-Muslims? Like, what will make you stand and continue supporting the Islamic community? And also, what did you see that the American people or the non-Muslim people, they still could not see in Islam?
Okay, that's a very good question. Thank you very much. Jazakallah khair, brother.
Well, let me say thank you to the caller for your very important question. My respect for the Muslim American Society is derived from a variety of sources. One, I've been to many schools, many mosques, I've met many imams, I know the Shura Council of various mosques, and I've been able to interact in ways that are what I consider extremely informative and helpful, and I believe that when you look at the teachings of the Quran, it's peace, love, and justice that's the summary of the entire message of the Quran. And I think that a lot of individuals who talk about the Muslim society do not take the time to even know who may be their neighbor, who may be a Muslim, who they don't even know is a Muslim. Many doctors are Muslim, bankers are Muslims, businessmen are Muslims, teachers, professional people, and they're everywhere in the United States. And so that's the entry to my education, is to understand and know by sharing time and discussing important subject matters and believing that if you're a Muslim American, you have a commitment to the United States. This isn't something where you're on the side of violence and terrorism and anything like that. We all know that in certain aspects of human development, people go over the border, so to speak, of good judgment and become involved in forms of violence. Well, that is not attributable to any one religion. So that's my point there. Now, the Second Amendment of the Constitution also requires that all of us respect the right to practice a religion. And I think this is the key, that the United States has always had a little bumpy road. Catholics at one point were told you could never run for president. President Kennedy broke that barrier. There's a lot of things that have happened in democracies where all the people of the world come to the United States, so there's elements of fear and prejudice and so forth. But as a law enforcement official, and an elected one at that, my duty is to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the United States protects all Americans, and that includes Muslim Americans.
So basically your message to those public officials and the people who criticize, first of all, educate yourself. Read
Correct.
and be knowledgeable about the community before you criticize it or you judge it. And that's exactly what you did. And we appreciate that, because we know that you have been more than welcoming and more than, open your arms to the Muslim community at large in every event we have. We have seen you there. You've been supportive of our community in every aspect, when the time of celebration and of the time of need. You're always there for the Muslim community. And that's why I want to focus today in your involvement with the Muslim community, especially with the Muslim Community Affair Unit that we talked about earlier, the MASC, the Muslim American Muslim Homeland Council Security Congress that we established in that department. I like to show also another video which showing how that was announced and how it was established, and I hope we will show our audience that you went out of your way to create that department, because you know how vital it is, especially post-September 11, how important the Muslim community involvement in protecting our country, how much we have to provide as Muslim community, and how much the Sheriff Department provided. So I'd like to play the third video, was showing that an involvement and announcement by the Sheriff Department. So let's watch together.
In a city with one of the largest Muslim populations in the United States, seeing a Muslim in uniform is still rare. But Sharif Morsi is a Muslim and a deputy sheriff in Los Angeles.
Culturally, as kids are young, they're, asked by their parents, are you going to be a doctor, engineer, lawyer, or businessman? Law enforcement is not really on their list for various reasons.
Jihad Turk of the Islamic Center of Southern California says Muslim immigrants in the U.S. often have a negative perception about law enforcement.
A lot of people who are Muslims in the United States come from other countries that are oftentimes run by dictators, and the police is just an extension of an oppressive regime.
Deputy Morsi has worked for nearly 4 years to change that belief through the LA Sheriff's Department's Muslim Community Affairs Unit. The unit is the first of its kind in the country and aims to build trust through education and personal relationships.
There's certain Islamic centers when we would go in uniform, people would avoid me like the plague. I mean, they would look at me from far away, try to avoid eye contact. They know I'm a Muslim, but still I have the uniform on. To them, that was a sign of authority, a sign of mistrust, a sign of corruption, back again from their experiences. The same center I go now, I'm met with hugs and kisses and lunches, and it's been phenomenal.
Morsi says the Muslim community has not only provided tips on neighborhood crime, but also about potential extremists. Los Angeles County Sheriff Leroy Baca started the Muslim Community Affairs Unit. He says the idea of public trust policing works at all levels of law enforcement.
In the last 10 attacks that were solved by agencies in the federal government and FBI, 7 of those last 10 involved Muslims being part of the information flow that brought forth and revealed those particular plots.
Deputy Morsi says there is one factor to radicalization.
I think the biggest thing is alienation. Always feeling alienated and always considered as a suspect. I think that's one of the major facts that plays in a radical's mind.
Jihad Turk says anti-Muslim sentiment in the U.S. helps to create a breeding ground for extremism.
If the Muslim community is perceived to be targeted, the youth from that community that then is ostracized by the rest of society might turn to extreme violence as a way to sort of push back against that.
Turk says the Muslim community needs to integrate itself into society, and the public needs to know that extremists in the U.S. are not limited to self-proclaimed Muslims.
While never compromising officers.
To help fight Islamic radicalization and anti-Muslim sentiment, law enforcement agencies across the country are using the Muslim Community Affairs Unit's training video. The hope is that more understanding of the Muslim culture will lead to respect and trust from both sides, so police and Muslims can be partners in fighting crime. Elizabeth Lee for VOA News, Los Angeles.
Assalamu alaikum, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Sabri and I'm calling from Los Angeles. I really have something to say to you guys. It's a marvelous program and I really enjoy it very much. And I need to ask a question for Chief Baca. I really understand that you guys do your best to protect us here in this country and we do our best also to protect our country. What do you expect from us as a Muslim community and Arabic community to do for this country? And I want to hear it from your perspective. We want to protect this country as much as anybody else in this country.
Yeah, that was a very good question, brother. Thank you very much.
Okay, brother.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Well, thank you very much for that important question. What I would like to see is Muslim Americans in Los Angeles, as well as throughout the entire United States, to feel like they are part of the success of the story of the United States of America. That Muslim Americans have been in this country for over 100 years. And the idea of contributions by the Muslim American society should be understood by all of us, especially those of us who are not Muslim Americans, because the contributions are numerous. As I mentioned earlier, I would like to encourage all Muslim Americans to feel happy to be in the United States, to not feel discriminated against, to understand that the interfaith community does support mosques being built, that the community also likes to engage with Muslim American citizens, and that the idea of celebrating all the different faiths is an important thing for all of us. And I have a good friend in San Diego who's coming up. There's a proposal to have a Muslim Cultural Day during the Christmas period of the year. So I would encourage more participation in any way you can, whether it's in arts or education, or in business, or in actually helping make the mosques stronger, so that the children that go to the mosques have as much encouragement to develop their faith, and that the United States respects and admires Muslim Americans, because the contributions are numerous. All of our military branches have Muslim Americans serving in the Marine Corps, in the Army, in the Navy, Coast Guard, and Air Force. And so there's a lot of things, including art. And let's get to that. I mean, you know, if you ever go into a mosque, it's beautiful. The tile is unique. I've been in many mosques, and it's beautiful for everyone to see. And so I would suggest to the gentleman that asked this question that you continue to grow strong in the things that you believe in. And I know that America will be stronger as well. So that is my basic message.
So continue to be involved in your community, volunteer, be an active member of your local organization, whether it's a mosque or charity organization or anything that the Muslim community do. I want to remind our audience that you can send your email to info@alamin.com, because our also internet email are open. So please send your email or call us 818-683-1866. Sheriff, I know 1 hour is not enough. Time is running like never believe it. And there is a lot of subject that I want to discuss with you, because post September 11, there was so many plots against the United States on our soil here. And so many of these plots were unfolded by Muslims. Can you give us some idea of how many plots, how many people involved, Muslim, non-Muslim, how many were involved, help from the Muslim community?
Well, in the area of extreme behavior, and we're talking about violent extremists, the United States has had experience with violent extremists for years, long before 9/11. At the same time, post 9/11, there's been over 60 to 70 plots, but the vast majority of the plots are from individuals who are radical that are not Muslims. And then when it comes to the actual plots, the over 20 or so that involve Muslims, a good percent of the information that revealed those plots came from Muslim Americans. So you see, there is an evidence path that establishes clearly that Muslim Americans do speak up and speak out when they feel that someone is becoming radicalized and can turn violent. And I think that the key to this point is that in Los Angeles, we have a Muslim American Homeland Security Congress, and it's made up of all the leaders of the various individual nonprofits, as well as the Shura Council within the Southern California region. And they're very patriotic towards the idea that we're not interested as Muslim Americans, that they are not interested as Muslim Americans, and join with others like myself in saying we want to protect all religions. We want to protect our communities. We're not interested in jihad that is violent. And so there's a whole situation here that people in America are needing to learn about, and the only way they're going to learn is to establish a good relationship and friendship with their neighbors who are Muslim Americans.
Yeah, that's very, very true. During elections, we saw it, we hear it, and all the time. The anti-Muslim sentiment increases. Islamophobia goes to the highest level. And I know that you've been in many, many fronts defending Muslims during those times, especially, from people who are running for the office and they want to gain the extreme vote for whether it's a Republican or whether it's a Democrat. What do you tell these public officials that they use election as a tool to increase the anti-Islamic sentiment and endanger the Muslim community? What do you tell these people?
Well, basically, my message to elected officials who use religion as some purpose of gaining votes, and when I say religion, condemning a religion such as Islam is not a wise position for any elected official to take. And I'll tell you why. Because the Second Amendment of the Constitution protects all faiths to be practiced in the United States. And I believe that the overwhelming majority of Americans understand that. At the same time, we have a reality here that certain elected officials go further in condemning a religion, and that is a violation of their oath of office. The Second Amendment is within the Constitution of the United States. And when I took my office that you saw the governor issue to me,
Absolutely.
that was for me to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States, not tear it apart and decide which part I like and which part I don't like.
That's exactly what I'm saying. It is puzzling to me that some of these public officials who are running for an office, whether it's a local office or whether it's a high office, they are making an oath of allegiance to protect and the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of California if they are from California or whatever state they are in. And it tells them that you have to protect everybody, all the constituents in your district or in your area, you have to protect them. But yet you see some people will go and make some statement that really anti-Muslim and endangers the Muslim community in that area. So you have been the wise voice, telling these public officials that enough is enough, and they need to stop their rhetoric and focus on their campaign. If they are a good candidate, they should be able to win without going through that extreme. I think we have another caller on line 1. Assalamu alaikum. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Muhammad Hayat. I'm calling from Studio City.
Welcome to the show.
This question is for Sherry Baca, actually.
Yes. What's your question?
Thanks for coming. We're really actually great to see you in the Alamin TV. And I have a question to Sherry Baca. Is there any law differentiate between the people in citizen, green card holder, and the people is basically just to have a student visa? Is it somebody do any crime on that? Is there any law differentiate between these three different ways?
Is the question clear?
Let me make sure I understand the question. Is the question that if you buy a visa or something like that on the street is against the law?
No, actually not. I mean, if somebody do a crime on that and the status of the person is a citizen of this country,
yes,
and the person who's a green card of this also holder in this country, and somebody who basically is also just an international student, if somebody do a crime, and is there any different kind of punishment based on the status of the person?
Okay, the question is clear.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much for your, this is a good question and we'll have the answer for you.
Basically this, whether you have a green card or whether you have a student visa or whether you're a citizen, or whether you're about to become a citizen but in the country legally. The criminal laws within the country do not make a distinction within those different categories as it pertains to the court process when it comes to violating the law. However, the federal government, particularly the Department of Immigration, could look at the status of a visa, whether it's student or a green card of a worker, and decide whether or not this crime that was committed was so serious that it deserves to be heard in an immigration court as part of qualifying the person to stay in the country. So that could happen, and that's why we do have immigration courts, and there are facilities throughout the United States where individuals that violate a law are sent to a place where they can hear this case and decide whether or not the individual will be staying in the country.
So basically, our justice system is justice for all.
Yes.
Everybody treated equally, whether you are visiting the country, whether you are a student, whether you are a U.S. citizen. When you commit a crime, it's a crime. But if you are in this country on an immigration visa or a student visa, and you are not a citizen yet, then it becomes more looking into his status or her status for the crime that they committed.
That's correct.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. I would think we have another caller. Assalamu alaikum.
Next one, second one.
Assalamu alaikum. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I think it's that one. No. Here, this is.
Okay. It looks like, you know, some people think because they are visiting the United States, they think that they have less rights. Or I think our Constitution protects everybody in American soil in the same way, whether you are a citizen or not. And that was a very good question. We're going to take another call. Looks like he's gone.
No, he's there. One.
Assalamu alaikum. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Assalamu alaikum. This is Ahmed Radwan again. I have two questions I would like to ask the chief, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
First of all, I would like to ask the chief, the Baca, what is his opinion and thinking of the FBI, again, Masajid, undercover agent, and also the situation, or it's happening right now. There's a lawsuit with the FBI agent was, I believe, in Irvine. I wonder if he's aware of that situation of the Irvine, the FBI, the one he went to the Irvine Masjid and caused a lot of problems and false accusation to the Muslims, and also we do not see an FBI agent.
So you're referring to the FBI infiltration of informant in the masajid?
Exactly. We do not see that in a Jewish temple. We do not see that in a church, but we see it only in Islamic organization. This is, and I would like him if he could rebuttal or talk about it and tell us what his own personal opinion and what message would he give to the FBI about what they are doing about this.
Maybe next show we'll have an FBI director on the show and ask him this question directly. But you know, Sheriff can give you a little bit of background.
Well, I'm not that familiar with the case. I've heard about the case, and that's a very interesting and important question to ask. But since I don't know the facts as you may know them, and the FBI has all the information about what was going on, it's really more important to have someone from the FBI here to explain away whatever the circumstances were. And I would be guessing more than I would be knowing factually what to say to you. You know, on the surface, it appears to be very problematic, and I think that your question should be answered directly by them.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Looks like we have another call. Assalamu alaikum. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes. This is Majdi Al-Bitar. I'm calling from Burbank, California.
Welcome to the show.
Yes, I would like to actually congratulate you on a beautiful program.
Thank you.
Sheriff Baca is a great American, and this is really, I would like to ask one question.
Go ahead.
Is the best way really to communicate and to use the Muslim community in this country to be a bridge between our country, the United States, and the Muslim world in general? And what is really the best way? He's a great man. He's a great American, and I've so many times, and he's very effective. And I think dialogue should continue because I think we could be used as Muslims.
So your question, can you basically what is can we do to use Muslims as to bridge between? Can you rephrase the question?
Yes, to bridge, American Muslims in this country. What is the best way that they can be a good bridge to be used actually for the United States in advancing, our goals in the whole Muslim world and the whole world actually,
Yes, yes, we got the question. Thank you.
Democracy and all kind of things. I think we could be, as Muslims in this country, we could be very effective. We understand people that come from the whole country. We do understand.
Yeah, we're gonna take your. We got your question. We're gonna take some calls, and we'll take the question, then we'll answer them together.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
So let me answer.
Can we take another call, and then we will answer them together?
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Assalamu alaikum, my brother. This is Hisham Tiketa. I'm calling from Los Angeles.
Welcome to the show, Hisham.
Yes.
What's your question to the sheriff?
Can I get in? I want to thank the Sheriff Baca for all what he's been done to this community first, and what he's been done to participating in all the events for the Muslim community. I really thank him very much. And he built a big, strong bridge to the community to be. I'm seeing him in every event, and whenever we call him for anything regarding the Muslim community, he's there for us.
The sheriff appreciated it, and I do appreciate that. Do you have a question, Hisham?
The question is regarding the random pickup in the airport regarding the Muslim name. Mostly, most of the airports, especially Los Angeles and New York, and we've seen a lot of harassment and a lot of pickup persons from the Muslim name, and they've been randomly picked up or because of their movement.
Okay, Hisham, I got your question, and this is going to be great for the U.S. Attorney General for Central California, and he's going to be in our next show. And that's a great question for him because it is managed by TSA, which is a federal. I appreciate your call. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Hassim Siddiq. I'm calling from Palmdale, California.
Welcome to the show. What's your question, Hassim?
My question was, I wanted to ask Mr. Sheriff Baca, I'm interested in becoming a deputy, and I was wondering what is the best way to go ahead and do that. I'm actually 19 and a half years old right now.
Very good. We got your question. Thank you very much. Thanks for the call. Looks like we have all the calls. Let's start with the first question. One of the brothers was asking, how do we bridge between Muslims and United States community, and how to use the Muslim as a bridge to, which we already touched on that. We have established the department, the Muslim Community Affairs Department. We're trying to be able to answer a lot of the questions. We're going to take another call. Looks like they hang up. So basically, we already established the Muslim Community Affair Reach Out Department, and that's basically bridging between Muslim and the department and the community at large. Also, we have a question from one of the callers.
Let's ask that, answer that question.
Yeah.
The bridging.
Yeah, the bridging, yeah. Do you want to elaborate some more? Because you have...
Well, I mean, I want to be able to answer the gentleman's question. The Sheriff's Department has a volunteer program, and any Muslim American that wants to volunteer to help our sheriff stations or to ride along on a patrol or to do things that would engage in service, like work on the front counter of the sheriff station. Those are important tasks that help us in tough budget times. But let me get right down to what I think the bridge could be. The idea of a Muslim American having a contribution to make in the United States, in addition to all the other contributions I alluded to that Muslim Americans make, is one where you could be an ambassador of goodwill and not be afraid to interact with other faiths in a social manner. That's very important. I know it's done at the jobs, and I know it's done in schools, and I know it's done in a variety of ways. But I think the interfaith harmony is a strong message that allows for everybody to learn from each other. And so a lot of this idea of community success is to do outreach to each other. Now, I'm very impressed with the youth of the Muslim Society. They give out homeless food to the homeless, rather, in the central area of Los Angeles on a certain holiday. And that's a very important gesture. So charity to others, including Muslims, is a very strong way of reaching out. Volunteerism of any kind is very important. So I think that's another example. But I do think that travel is helpful, so that when you go to other countries, be proud of the fact that you are Muslim American, and be social with the people who are not Muslim Americans.
Yes. You know, time is running so fast, and I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of material. We still have like 2, 3 video to play. Let's answer very quickly the question from the random search at the airport. Does the Sheriff Department have anything to do with
yes,
this?
the Sheriff's Department does not deal with airport security, but TSA does, the Transportation Security Administration. And I think that it's important to have a member of the airport authority come here,
which is going to be in the next show.
And that would be a great answer there.
Okay. Another question from young man, Hassan Sadiq. He's asking how to become a deputy sheriff with the Sheriff Department.
Well, very simple. Hassan, all you need to do is get your pencil and paper ready. I'm going to give you a phone number. It's to my office. And if you just call and leave a message with your return phone number.
You can say it in the air. This is public.
The number is area code 323-526-5000. That's 323-526-5000. Someone will pick up that phone, leave your name and a callback number, and say that you are interested in being a deputy sheriff, and we will return this call to you on Monday.
Very good. Thank you very much. You know, we had another video that we were going to play, but let's take this call before we do that. Assalamu alaikum. What's your name and where you come from?
Hi, my name is Aya Steta, and I'm from Los Angeles, California.
Thank you for calling. What's your question to the sheriff?
First off, I want to thank him for what he's doing in Los Angeles. And my question is, what kind of youth programs do they have that our Muslim youth can participate in?
You beat me to the question. It was my next question to the sheriff. Can you tell us about the youth leadership program that we have? Thank you very much for this wonderful question.
Thank you for the question as well. I think if you heard the phone number I gave earlier, I can give it again. We have a Muslim youth leadership program, and it's designed to help youth engage in the developing of their skills as future leaders within their community and within the general society at large. And I think you can be, not only well received by the Sheriff's Department, but it would be a learning experience for you. And I'm very pleased that you called because we really need to be able to reach stronger into how we can build a successful partnership with the youth.
So the number again is 323-526-5000.
That's correct. And ask for me, and then we'll call you back, and I'll
get a return call on Monday.
Right.
Okay. I want to give you the credit that you deserve, and I think you are a hero in our community. And one of the videos that I'm very, very impressed when you were in Washington, D.C., defending the Muslim community in the hearing about Islamic radicalization by Congressman King. We have the video, like that you were defending us, which we're supposed to defend ourselves, but we have our friend here defending us because he knows that is the right thing to do, especially in a country where there is a lot of prejudice against Muslim, and we appreciate that. I want to give all the credit that you deserve, and really, honestly, you are my hero.
Well, bless you. Thank you.
So let's watch this video and see and hear what you had to say defending the Muslims in Washington, D.C. in front of the Congress. You're not talking about a small hearing here. We're talking about the Congress of the United States. This is the place where they make all the laws. And some of the laws they make, they are unconstitutional and coming from a public official who is thinking about making these laws is kind of ridiculous, in my opinion. If you want to ridiculize any religion, you should be looking at everybody at the same time. Don't be picking on any certain group or any certain religion to do that. So, until the brother is ready, we're going to continue with the conversation with the sheriff. And okay, we're ready. Let's go.
Marine. He served in law enforcement. He served as a law enforcement officer for 46 years. He was elected as our Los Angeles County Sheriff in 1998. Sheriff Lee Baca commands the largest sheriff's department in the United States, leading over 18,000 budgeted sworn and professional staff, law enforcement officers, and serves over 4 million people. Many of the cities, 2 of which happen to be in my district, both Compton and Carson. His jurisdiction includes 40 cities, 9 colleges, 58 superior courts, and a local jail system housing over 20,000 prisoners. Sheriff Baca is a respected witness. He has been to this committee testifying in both 2009 and 2010 and was invited here by our ranking member, Mr. Thompson. Please join me in welcoming Sheriff Lee Baca.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, thank you. Thank Ranking Member Thompson and your committee for this hearing today. Moreover, I'd like to thank Secretary Janet Napolitano and the Department of Homeland Security for the support Los Angeles has received regarding combating violent extremism. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department has long been a leader in the development of relationships with the various ethnic, cultural, and religious communities that thrive in the Los Angeles area. We have established strong bonds through continuing outreach and physical presence at important events to every community. Therefore, I would caution that to comment only on the extent of radicalization in the Muslim American community may be viewed as singling out a particular section of our nation. This makes a false assumption that any particular religion or group is more prone to radicalization than others. For example, according to information provided by the Congressional Research Service, there have been 77 total terror plots by domestic non-Muslim perpetrators since 9/11. In comparison, there have been 41 total plots by both domestic and international Muslim perpetrators during the same period. Reports indicate that Muslim Americans helped foil 7 of the last 10 plots propagated by al-Qaeda within the United States. Evidence clearly indicates a general rise of violent extremism across ideologies. Therefore, we should be examining radicalization as an issue that affects all groups, regardless of religion. It is counterproductive to build trust when individuals or groups claim that Islam supports terrorism. This plays directly into the terrorist propaganda that the West's war on terror is actually a war against Islam. It is critical to build mutually respectful relationships with Muslim American communities and endeavor to work together to protect all Americans. For example, new immigrants or citizens, excuse me, let me start this again. For example, as new immigrants or citizens, the vast majority of Muslim community members within my jurisdiction is fiercely proud of their American identity and display their patriotism on a daily basis. When I made critical outreach to the community after 9/11, I was overwhelmed by the number of Muslims who were ready and willing to connect with law enforcement. Moreover, after the 2005 transit bombings in London, the Muslim American Homeland Security Congress was formed in Los Angeles County to engage Muslim community members in our efforts to counter violent extremism. The Homeland Security Congress is comprised of leaders from the religious, business, professional, and academic centers of the Muslim American community. Moreover, it supports the efforts of our Muslim Community Affairs Unit, made up of Arabic-speaking Muslim deputy sheriffs. And I might add that the Los Angeles Police Department has the same effort going. The Muslim American Homeland Security Congress provides support to our Homeland Security efforts, not only in Los Angeles, but entire Southern.
Okay. So that was the video, and you know, you were really great with that, and I appreciate it. So we're going to move to a different segment of the program, your relationship now with the Muslim organization like Council on Islamic Relations, AMPAC, ICNA, ISNA. You've been in several of these organizations, and I remember a quote. It was in the newspaper when they said that you've been in every single fundraising for CARE, and they were trying to ridiculize CARE, and you told them that I will be in every single one of them, I'll be the next time. And you proved to them that you meant what you say. So can you tell us a little bit about, you know, what do you think of CARE and AMPAC and what they do to the community?
Well, thank you. That was a very important question. First of all, CARE as an organization is a civil rights group, and I believe that many of the individuals who have concerns and needs within the Muslim American society are able to go to CARE for some assistance. I think that's fundamental to what the United States represents as a nation through its own constitution, that people are entitled to due process and are entitled to have their civil rights protected. In the scope of my belief in that comment you made about a member of Congress, I was at another committee hearing testifying in front of that committee, and the congressman decided that he was going to challenge me going to CARE dinners, and as a result of that challenge, I said to him, I stopped his commentary and I said, you know, that his particular questioning was inappropriate inasmuch that CARE is a nonprofit organization that's well established throughout the United States, and that my going to a CARE dinner is not going to be diminished by his criticism, and that I plan on going on 10 more CARE dinners.
That was the exact quote actually in the TV and the newspaper that I remember. And also, because of your positions with the Muslim community in general, you received some awards from the Muslim community, especially that I can recall. The one I like the most, actually, from CARE, they call it the Hero Award. Can you remember that?
Yes, well, CARE obviously respects the fact that as a law enforcement official, I don't believe in discriminating against organizations. And I believe that the ability to work closely with Muslim American organizations is an important obligation that any law enforcement official should have, but particularly one that's local. The idea that the local community is a very big part of the success of the safety of Los Angeles as well as the United States is a goal that I've cherished in terms of what we can do. the more we are in a good relationship with our American public, whether it's one religion or all religions, whether it's one ethnicity or all ethnicities, whether it's one race or all race, the fact is we're a stronger nation, a safer nation, and when we respect each other and we offer to each other our assistance.
You know, what impressed me in that award, it's called Award of Courage and Leadership Award. You were out of the country. You were in Dubai, actually. But you were so, you know, it was so important for you to be there, even if you were not in the country. You sent a video, a message, and your message was so strong in that video to the Muslim community in that fundraiser that I would like to share it with our audience. And even his body was not there, but his soul and his heart was with the Muslim community in that care banquet. So let's watch together.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm deeply regretful that I cannot be with you this evening. As you listen to my message, I'm either in Qatar, Abu Dhabi, or Egypt, meeting with my Arab law enforcement colleagues. We are working on strategies of cooperation, public safety, and education on a worldwide basis. I want to thank CARE for the friendship that has been extended to me in the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. Executive Director Hussam Alouche and the staff are exceptional representatives of the Muslim community of America. Over the years, prior to the tragedy of 9/11, Muslim members of the Sheriff's Interfaith Advisory Council have taught me the core principles of Islam. My numerous visits to the Islamic centers within Southern California, the homes of my Muslim friends, and meetings with members of the Muslim American Homeland Security Congress have taught me the hopes, dreams, aspirations, and concerns of the Muslim American society. Your contributions to our diverse American society are historically vast, numerous, faithful, and worthy of praise. I salute each of you for your courage, your faith in God, your faith in the United States as your home, and your faith in me and your Sheriff's Department to protect you with respect and dignity. Thank you, CARE, for your thoughtfulness. The 18,000 men and women of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department and I will cherish this award. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay. Looks like we have a call. Assalamu alaikum. What's your name and where are you calling from?
For no, again, I got disconnected.
I am sorry we lost you. I apologize for that.
Thank you very much for bringing Sheriff Baca. I have a question for him.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Sheriff Baca, thank you very much for your stand for justice, what the Muslim community have been facing or faced in the last few years since 9/11. Thank you very much for standing with the Justice with the King Commission, and I saw recently also talking Islamic Center of the Sea, the opening ceremony. President Obama being accused before, like being a Muslim, sometimes he sides with Muslims. Aren't you afraid for your career or being targeted, that being biased for the Muslim community? I would like an answer for that.
That's a good question. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's a very significant question. No, I'm not afraid to stand up for what is right because the law of the United States is on my side. But beyond the law, all of us who are around Muslim Americans who enjoy celebrating Ramadan and other holidays that are important to the Muslim society, as we do Christmas and Rosh Hashanah and the high holidays in the community, that we are all better when we understand each other's faiths and we respect them and we encourage the participation of the faith community with law enforcement. So to me, my job is to protect everyone, not to discriminate against anyone. And that's what we do in the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. And the Los Angeles Police Department does it as well. And I'm very proud of the men and women of law enforcement across the United States. The Department of Homeland Security has embraced the Muslim American Outreach Program that the Sheriff's Department has. So Secretary Napolitano, as a member of the Cabinet of President Obama, all of us who are mindful of the constitutional rights of people want to enforce those rights and protect everyone. So it's in that spirit of national security as well as national respect that I do what I do, and I'm not alone in what I'm doing. I have hundreds, if not thousands, of other police officials in the local communities of America who are reaching out to Muslim Americans as well as Jewish Americans and Christians and Buddhists and Hindus, and are doing what we can to keep the spirit of the Founding Fathers of America when they say that the United States will protect and defend the right of anyone to practice their religion without any fear or any intimidation or any intrusion. And that really is the key, in my opinion, to why it's not difficult for me.
Sheriff, you know, you're so familiar with the Arab and Muslim community in general, and you've been in the Middle East so many times. Can you tell us about your trips that you've been making to the Middle East? Which country did you visit? What did you learn? And how did that help you in understanding and helping in the Muslim community?
Well, see, I think that world security looks at United States for being the example. And I believe that the police agencies of the world, whether they're in the Middle East or the South Asian Muslim societies such as Pakistan, Sri Lanka, whether it's in Turkey or Azerbaijan or Kazakhstan, there's a very diverse Muslim society throughout the whole world. But the United States should stand up for its own belief in religious harmony, and it does. And I think that we have gone a long way since 9/11 to mature and educate ourselves about how we can have better world peace. Now, two things have happened. I have been able to acquire support from the nation of Qatar and my police friends from around the world in Europe, in North America, and the Far East. And we have put together conferences because we believe that world security must be a cooperative effort between police agencies along with their governments. So the United States does not have a national police force, so people like myself and others that are from the United States and Canada, we take the lead with the European police chiefs and the Middle East Gulf state police chiefs, and then of course Dubai, the United Emirates, and Abu Dhabi have hosted conferences, and we are trying to show high levels of professional cooperation worldwide. That's really what's going to take to deal with violent extremists, no matter where they're from.
You know, our show, the hour went so fast. I think it's went like 5 minutes, and we're almost reaching to the end of the show. But I want to finish this with something funny, strange. Can you tell us about something that during this visit to the Middle East, something that happens with you kind of still stuck in your mind that you still remember? Something could be strange or funny.
Funny or unusual?
Something unusual.
Well, you know.
Because of the culture, you know, I understand.
I think the most interesting thing is when I'm in various countries such as Qatar. You know, they have a souk. The souk is the old original village, and they have shops of various kinds. The idea that men will stand around while they're selling a particular gift of some type, meaning a object that people would want to have, and I'm bidding with everybody, and I'm speaking Arabic as best as I can, and I'm raising the ante, and someone else is going against me, and it's kind of funny for me to be
Did you win the bid?
middle. No, I lost big time, but you know, I still tried to simulate and learn how it is to have competitive buying in a very, very important country. And a very.
Did you notice that people in the Middle East, they like to bargain?
Everybody likes to bargain. And it's true in the United States, it's true throughout the world. So
no matter what you tell them, they always wanted, you start with, especially if you go to a certain country, like when I travel to Egypt, whatever the number they give me, I divide it in half. They start with 100, I said, how about 50?
Well,
when they agree to 50, I go to 25.
Go to 25.
When they agree to 25, and they start, I feel like they're going to cry, then I stop.
Then
I buy it. Looks like we got another call. Assalamu alaikum, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Hello, assalamu alaikum, what's your name? Hello, assalamu alaikum, what's your name and where are you calling from? Can you hear me? Hello, assalamu alaikum. Hello, looks like we have a technical problem. Can you call back, please? You know, I'm going to have the final question to the sheriff, and after this, I think the sheriff has a proclamation for the administration at Al Amin TV. But before we conclude, I would like to ask you this question. What would you tell the Muslim community, and what's your message, your final message today for this show to the Muslim community?
Well, my final message to the Muslim American community is not my final message. I'll be back on the show another time.
For today's show.
But this show is the final message. I appreciate those of you who are listening to this program. It's being broadcast throughout the world. The objective of the program is to provide more information and to allow for Muslim Americans to call and ask important questions, particularly from a law enforcement official. I think my final message is thank you very much for helping America be a strong nation. Thank you for all the cooperation and hospitality that I've received from each and every one of you. And I look forward to continuing to build international relations with Muslims throughout the world. They come to the United States for many, many reasons, and I'm very pleased that they're restoring the amount of students that are coming from the Middle East and other parts of the world who are Muslims from their own countries getting their educations in the United States. And I really believe that education is the answer to many of the problems of the world. And I want to be a part of that, and I want to encourage all Muslim Americans to participate in all the things that you enjoy about the United States, and to also enjoy the fact that the United States is a country that is special, but the Muslim Americans are also a part of what is special. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sheriff Baca. At this time, I would like to call the president and the chairman of the board for the Al Amin TV, Dr. Sayyid Juma, to receive this proclamation that you have for the show, for the first show actually, and for the Al Amin TV in general. We appreciate your time. And Dr. Sayyid, if you'd like to come into the other side so we can actually broadcast this live to all the people in the Al Amin TV. And I'd like to have the whole crew of the Al Amin TV to receive this award.
How are we going to do this?
And we can actually, the cameraman can fix it for us.
Well, let's just ask the president to sit down right here.
Thank you,
that
sir.
way you're on the television. And I want to say thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
I think the cameras are a little out of place here, but we're all here together.
That's okay.
And I thank you very much.
We appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thank you
very
very much.
humble of you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Thank you.